Okay, Cyber Warriors, going to go over a couple of things that are based off of some previous videos. We talked about grabbing processes out of netstat or Get-NetTCPConnection. What I'm going to do is show you how to push that directly to something that will kill the process and why that may not always solve your problems. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so a quick moment, a little interlude and a preface to what we need to do in the next phase here is we want to make sure that we're looking at the README. The README is important because it outlines the different the guides and items that you have to have compliance with. A lot of it is like the user information, who's the administrators, who's not administrators, who's authorized, those sorts of things. The other things that we need to take a look at is this is a part here where it says there should be no third-party software installed unless specifically authorized. No security tools or graphics that are not part of the operating system, and the system should meet industry requirements for network security. So this is pretty blanket statement, meaning that it can only have just software that comes out of the box, right? So there's that's the kind of things that we're looking for with this particular instance and what we're working with. A lot of competition images are going to be functioning in a very similar fashion. The next thing we want to do is take a look at the forensic question or questions. Sometimes there are more than one. So in this one, the question is, what port or ports is a program listening to that would remotely control the system? This does not include the remote desktop application. So that's a big clue for something to find on the system. We know that there is a remote control application out there. We just need to find out what ports it's running on, which is why we jump right back into our good friend, our Get-NetTCPConnection stuff. So I have created a script that can be used in order to run that. I brought it up here in PowerShell ISE so we can see what the script is as we run it. And I'm going to cheat just a little bit by also bringing up the task manager. And I happen to know that type VNC is the thing that we're looking for on this system. But let's go through the process and identify this anyway. So we're going to run the script that we have selected here. It's going to take just a moment to run. This would be where I normally have my coffee break, but I already drank all my coffee. Okay, so we have this. We're going to bring up our net results. Okay, we have populated that variable, so we're going to stop that, and we're going to look for the process names, right? So select, and we're going to process name. We're going to unique this because we talked about it in the previous video. What? It didn't collect everything. Yeah, it did. Oh, I see what the problem is. It's a process name, not a process name. It's important to get things spelled correctly. All right, so here we have services, spool server, which is for the printer. Service host is just about everything. WinInit, LSAS is authentication system. Those are all Windows system normal things running that we would expect to see on a system. TVN server, that is type VNC server, so we need to grab that and we're going to copy it out. So let's scroll this up just a little bit, make it a little easier to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually where process name equals quote, I'm going to paste and we're going to get the information. So here's the information we need for the README file, right? So the README file, we need the port numbers. the local port for both of that. There's 2 entries, so make sure that you record both of those in your answer sheet. So 5800, 5900, those are the answers for that particular thing, but we need to go beyond that. What we want to do is stop type VNC from running. So we already have this information here, so let's just go ahead and grab that line, and we're going to pipe that to stop process. Not only we're going to do all of that spelled correctly. Stop process. There we go. Now within PowerShell ISE, it will ask you to confirm what you want to do and say yes to all. And boom, it's done. And you see down here, type VNC disappeared. And it just reappeared. So sometimes, even though you're doing the right thing, you're killing a process, it can come back. This is called persistence, and it is rather persistent, as the name would imply. Each time you knock it down, it'll get right back up again, and so just simply going through and stopping it isn't going to do much of anything, unless if you look at the state, and the state says listen. If the state was in established, what that would mean is someone was remotely connected to, and it's very important at that point to go ahead and kill the process, even if they can reestablish connection. What you want to do is interrupt what they're doing, and you will do that by breaking it apart and stopping them right away. So there's another way that I want to show you to be able to pull up this information. So we already know that by the process name, but we want to take a look at the running ports or the local ports. So let's grab our net results variable. We're going to push that to where? Local port. And we're going to run it against a match. So match is great because it allows us to do regular expressions. And there's a simple way to look for both 5900 and 5800 at the same time, and that is with the inclusion of a period. So it looks like $5, but that really means 5, any character, and a 00. And you will see, boom, there we have it. And we can dump this directly into stop process. And this time watch VNC very carefully. Actually, it dipped in behind my head here. All right, so type VNC server is right here. And we're going to stop the process. Yes to all. And it disappeared once again. It's not there again. Oh, but now it's back. Like I said, persistence. So again, you can kill a process, but if it is set up to run as a persistent process, it will, it will restore itself. So it's just a matter of, at this point, finding the application, uninstalling it, or if it's a rootkit, you may have to go into safe mode and blow it away from there. To recap on this one there, Cyber Warriors, the kill guy, we ran over running the processes, getting the information out of your netstat results or your NetTCPConnection results. So we see what's listening, what ports are open, and how to kill things that we don't want to be running on the system, and some of the roadblocks that we will run into along the way. This is something that can and does happen in CyberPatriot and also in the real world when trying to do a forensic mission or a hunt mission. So just make sure you keep that in the back of your minds. Carry forward. Happy hunting. And I'll see you in the next video.